So Battlefield 2042 has kind of been shat on. You know, a lot of people are pretty upset with the state of the game, and putting aside performance problems and issues with gunplay, there are a lot of very strange design choices, a lot of controversial changes to the Battlefield formula which have upsetted, you know, a decent amount of people, a large portion of the veteran player base. One of these changes quite clearly has been the introduction of specialists as this new reformed way of doing the traditional Battlefield 4 class system. Specialists, and I'm going to be real honest here, are not awful, and specialists in my opinion are not the one thing which is taking a big stinky dump on 2042. That's not to say that they're absolutely perfect, that I would have rathered them over the traditional 4 class formula, but you got to give props to DICE, you got to give props to them for trying to improve, to modernise this formula, which maybe to some people was becoming a bit stale. Alright, let me try and break down specialists in the most basic and dumbass way possible, because I'm gonna be real with you, I still don't quite understand how they work and how you're supposed to use them to the best of their ability. The biggest glaring issue to begin with is the fact that they're characters. They're this unique set of people which are supposed to be the top of the top, you know, the what they called maps? No, not shit, no, definitely not maps. What are they called? Something very similar. They're definitely not pedophiles. Could be, no, in this game. So like what you'll notice about 2042 instantly is that these characters are put at the forefront. These specialists are like this big new exciting thing, which for one I feel like DICE intended you to care about them, to almost like who they are, like their personality or whatever, which falls on its arse completely. But in the process, you know, specialists create a hell of a lot of problems. The biggest problem, and probably the most obvious, is the fact that they're all the same. They're all the same characters. It doesn't matter if you put a shiny new uniform on out of the 6 currently available, they're still the same. They're not traditional soldiers, and for a lot of people that takes away from the Battlefield feel, the original idea that you were just one soldier in a very large conflict. This has all been stripped away to make way for these big specialists which have funny quips and one-liners at the end of matches, which in itself is, in my opinion, the biggest thing I hate about them. You have a fairly intense game, right? You have people crying out for help, people dying, shouting out call-outs, and, you know, general battle talk which makes you feel like you're in a war. And then you come to the end of it and your specialists go all in a good day's work and does a little smile at the camera, like they haven't just seen 2,000 people be fucking massacred in a battle.
This is just how it works out sometimes.
There's this very weird disconnect, which was also there in Battlefield 5, where it almost feels like DICE are conflicted whether to go all out, you know, serious, tactical, grounded warfare, or this kind of light-hearted, almost Overwatch style way of doing it. And just like Battlefield 5, 2042 falls into the exact same trap, albeit nowhere near as bad as 5. 5 was horrendous for that. 2042 has a little bit more cohesion, but you will still get these dog shit call-outs, these really annoying quips here and there, or even when you know, do a little jump in a buggy, your character will go woo, like he's not in a war zone. You know, it doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, I climbed Everest, it's been all downhill from there.
The other glaring issue with specialists is that you can put any equipment on any specialist, so it doesn't matter if you're playing a medic class or a recon class, you can still slap a C5 or a big ass missile launcher on there, if you want, of course. And this illusion of choice is instantly shattered by the meta of 2042, because where you have the ability to put on a repair torch instead of a rocket launcher, you are instantly at a disadvantage. With the exception of Breakthrough, where it's slightly more useful because it's, you know, confined to a smaller area. In all-out warfare, there is absolutely 0 point running a repair tool. There's no point. So the issue which arises from this is that very often people are running the same gadgets, they're running the same guns, and it doesn't matter that you're playing an engineer class because you can put down a cute little shield. You're still blowing up vehicles. You're still basically an assault class. In fact, 90% of the match is an assault class. I don't know how DICE can fix this, and I'm going to be honest with you, they're just not going to fix it. There's no way this is going to change. Specialists are really confusing, and you know, on paper they make a great deal of sense. In game, they don't really make any sense. I understand where DICE were trying to go with it, but I just don't feel like it was the greatest way to implement it, nor do I feel like it really works with the Battlefield franchise. It could have very easily worked if you had the specialist system, you know, unique traits per class, but then didn't have the gimmicky, caricatured specialists, you know, the people. You don't need that. If they would have given basic soldiers who maybe shouted out a couple things here and there, but weren't trying to be like this edgy, but also really out of date, kind of, oh, look at me, I'm a trendy girl in a beanie. Like, what? Why? I don't get the thought process. Yeah, like, I'm gonna cut it here. Shit. Alright, look, hope you enjoyed or something. If you did, leave a like on it, and I'll catch you later in a bit.